morning it was not raining too hard. Now, I didn't realize it was gonna be raining this hard. Don't slip, don't slip. I literally pressed record right when that happened. 3, 2, 1. Mike, we're back again.
Another day.
And we're doing track pads today.
Yes.
Can you show how to remove a brake pad, please?
So it's pretty easy. I already have it out. It's actually easier to demonstrate it with it already disassembled. So these pads actually has little channels here and here. They line up perfectly straight together, here and here. And then you have these 2 pins that actually slides in through the back side of it. So see why I said it's easier to disassemble?
Oh, yeah.
So it goes through these holes here and here. Slides all the way through like so. Like that. And then the tool that we use is actually, honestly, it's just like a little, anything that fits inside this channel without scratching it, it has to be smaller than this diameter here. That way you can just hit it through this direction, out, and then it'll pop it out like this. And then you have this, which is going to help suppress the brake noise as well as retain it into its position, which slides in like so here. So we pop one out like that, and then we pop the other out. They both stay inside of here. Then once it gets to this point right here, pull this out, and then you get to slide this out. Then it'll lose the tension onto these pins, and then you pull out both. And once you get it out, that's it.
And they just slide right back in?
Yeah.
That's really easy then.
Yeah, so.
Is this how it is with most cars or most calipers?
Any calipers that has basically going to be either going to be,
I unplugged the light.
It could be like 4 piston or 2 piston, meaning one on each side, or it could be 4, 6, whatever. As long as it has dual pistons on each side, then it's like this.
Okay.
It's designed to make it easier for installation and removal for track.
And then the material on OEM versus the race ones?
So OEM is going to be...
Hold on, let me get this light on. Okay, so the materials, what are the differences here?
So this is semi-ceramic and this is full ceramic. So how it works is with ceramic, it's going to be much more abrasive, and at the same time it can handle heat much better because there's less metallic in it. So like semi-metallic is going to generate a lot more heat. Then you get brake fade and stuff like that. But the problem with full ceramic is noise.
Very noisy. But I went to my last track day with street pads, and I had just brake fade the 3rd lap.
Yeah.
So this will help with that.
Yes.
Okay.
This plus bleeding it, that way you don't have boiling temp.
Yeah. And then we're going to do high temperature fluid, right?
Correct. RBF 600, so molten.
So the initial goal of this video is to show you guys more about the track day prep. A lot of stuff you have to do for a track day to run good lap times. So I just wanted to show you guys like the process of what I'm doing. It's raining, man. Just watch my car too.
You're trying to film, but it's like, oh, I'm already done.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I have time to set up, and the next thing I knew, the car was in the air with no wheels on it. I didn't even turn my camera on yet, bro.
And you're like, oh yeah.
1,000, right?
90.
Pump. Holding. Holding. Holding.
How's fluid looking?
Good.
Still holding.
It's still full?
Yep.
Okay. Pump.
Holding. Holding.
Thank you.
Pump it.
Holding.
Holding.
Got about
Holding.
Holding. You got let me got iPhone.
you know those people with the boomstick.
It's just too intense, bro.
And then you see those videos where-
You won. So when you guys did the brake fluid, you did it in a certain direction.
Yes.
How does that work?
So the proper way of doing a brake flush is going to be the furthest away from the brake reservoir. So meaning if your car is right-hand drive, your brake reservoir is on that opposing side. So in this case, it's left-hand drive, so we'll do it from the furthest corner, which would be the passenger rear. Then we move over to the driver's side rear. Then we move to the passenger front, and then to the driver's. And the reason for that is because those are the longest tubes all the way back. So how it works is these brake lines are going to go back to a proportion valve. This proportion valve is what's going to disperse the pressure evenly. So we want to release all of the potential air inside the system from the furthest point first. So that way we don't allow any air to come back up, pretty much.
So that's going to avoid air bubbles in the system.
Yeah,
Okay.
and back into the system in the case of we are, obviously bleeding the system.
Okay.
In this case, we're not really bleeding it. We're just doing a flush. So that's not mandatory, but we just follow that routine anyways.
Okay. And when you do brake pads, you recommend doing a flush?
Yeah. So if obviously you're due for the service, you should do it. Or if it's every year or so, depending on your actual brake fluid reservoir, just take a look at it. If it's dirty, black, stuff like that. There's actually some testers that you can actually buy at AutoZone. You can dip it in there. It'll tell you how dirty it is.
Okay.
So like to the naked eye, it might look new, clean, but it traps moisture. That's what brake fluid does.
Okay.
So a lot of times you might have a lot of moisture inside of there. So it's water instead of brake fluid.
Okay.
So with water and moisture inside the system, it's gonna decrease your boiling temperature. So it might boil faster. So we're using Multil RBF 600. That's a .5.
How do you refill it? Because there's a reservoir
Yeah,
on top,
so
right?
what we do is, first things first is we go to the reservoir, we extract all of the dirty or old fluid inside of here first, and then we fill it back up, and then we start bleeding it through the calipers. That releases any of the dirty or old fluid through the back on the bottom end of it, and then just top it off right here. So the only thing is you have to get all four wheels in the air.
Yeah, so that's a little bit harder then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed with how you guys were pumping the brakes and moving the fluid, it's like a 3-person thing.
I actually have an equipment so that we can actually do it with just one person. Pressurize this system right here and just open up the valve, and that'll pressurize it and just push it through. Then there's the other one that I have as well, which is going to pull vacuum from the calipers. That works too, but the problem is when you're doing it like that, you're pressurizing the system, but there's still going to be the proportion valve. So it's still not going to fully pressurize that system. I just don't feel confident doing that. It's better for me to just have 2 people doing it, if not 3. So that way we have one person over here filling it up, one person on the inside, and one person outside doing it. Manual is always better.
And the last thing too, the bottle that you were using to put in here, how does that bottle work? Because
Yeah,
there's like a cap on it, I noticed.
Kinda, there's a valve on there so you can open and close it. So you close it off, and that way it doesn't spill out. And then there's that little nozzle. So you can open it up, once it's upside down, open it up, fill it up. You can buy that anywhere, like Harbor Freight, AutoZone, Amazon.
And last thing too, how much are you gonna pay your light guy? Because your light guy is working overtime right now.
He works for food.
And cut.
We clear. Ready for the track?
Think so.
These things stock you really good.
See ya. Thank you guys. Okay, so it's currently raining right now. Oh, U39 M5. Okay. So I'm gonna bed these in. I don't know, it's kind of raining, but all right, I'll check back in a bit.